minute, fellas. Look here. Stand by.
One for Sealab, two for Ego, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the power band, this is The Blah. Your host, the Mohlvie, is sadly unwell. This is Jarhigo, joined by my special friend, Sealab Forever.
Yo. How's everybody doing? As Benny said, Mohlvie's not feeling well, so we wish him well. We probably will not talk a lot of shit about him behind his back because he really enjoys it when we do that and think it's fucking hysterical. But
just a little bit.
Yeah. So we're just going to shoot the shit this week and talk about things that we've seen and read and whatnot, and just kind of, meander and ramble, and hopefully some good shit comes out of it. Our month of buddy cop movies will kick off next week with 48 Hours. We thought about kind of doing the show, but neither Ben nor I had seen it before, so I feel like it would have been a bit of a disservice. So we'll just bump that one a week and see how we go next week.
Yeah, bonus.
Yeah, bonus content, man.
Bonus content.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean,
did you watch the new Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I figure I was super not impressed.
Yeah, same.
Very not impressed.
Like, I didn't hate it, but it's just like more of the same. It's just like, okay. Fucking another video game quest where he's got to collect all the things.
I guess. I don't know. It just, I don't know. The whole, opening where, he swoops down, saves the day with
silly,
the, giant sea crocodile thing. I was like, what the fuck?
We got to cram an action scene in, guys. Yeah, it was kind of the same. Like, it made sense in the other two contexts, the Mudhorn egg thing in season 1 made sense, and it wasn't too over the top. And then that, crate dragon thing was cool in the second season, but, we don't need another one, Especially not for, a throwaway random action sequence.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same at all as those other things. It was just, random and weird and, then there's you took your fucking helmet off, bro, so fuck you.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Thanks, asshole. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it recovers. I just, I find it surprising that it's so hard to milk the teat of Star Wars. For Christ's sake, surely it just can't be that hard to make good content with such a fucking broad universe, but...
Yeah.
They're really doing a great job of proving me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess if I think about it, the first episodes have always been kind of just a warm-up of sorts,
I gave them a mulligan. I was willing to not get, super butthurt about it, but, I was in the same boat. I was just kind of okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not butthurt. I'm just meh.
Okay, here we go. Another fucking 10 episodes of something that I'm only half interested in. Let's see how it goes.
10, we should be so lucky.
Maybe it's exactly what you said a minute ago, too, where it's just there's so much other stuff out there that, if it doesn't grab you straight away, it's kind of hard to stay engaged these days, Even if it's shit that you love, content-wise in terms of, the universe.
Yeah.
Because, Andor grabbed me pretty good. It was, it was a pretty solid.
No, Andor was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Might be my favorite thing to come out of the Star Wars machine lately. I mean, Mandalorian has been good, but this is different. Feels different.
Yeah, season 1 of Mando was pretty firmly in the Star Wars universe camp, and was it was a pretty solid home run, They did a fucking good job. And then the second season was just kind of that was pretty good still. And then now it's because Boba Fett was a double, a base hit or something. It was enjoyable, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah, well, now that you got Mandalorian in fucking Boba Fett as well, so
yeah, that was weird. But they were certainly highlights of the season.
They were. Yeah, I don't know if it's oversaturation or what. I don't think it is. I just think that was just crappy. I just thought it was not a very good episode.
Yeah.
That's all I can say there.
Well, it's getting very MCU with guest stars and shit. It's just stay focused.
Yeah.
Like, Boba Fett's cool. Like, I'm down with watching some Boba Fett. You know, like, it's the Boba Fett show. Doesn't need to be other stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do. I think you're right. Like, first episode tends to be a warm-up. It was nice to see the two dudes together, Grogu and Mando. They're like fucking bros, which I'm down with.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to see those guys back together. I found the pirates to be really annoying, although the little space battle in the asteroid belt was pretty cool.
Fucking cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And the giant seaweed pirate. They're like
Japanese
seaweed salad pirate.
Fucking come on. Stop it.
That's great.
What are you doing? There's fucking Johnny Depp playing him or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was the dude from Pirates of the Caribbean.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
It should have been Yondu.
Like, if they're pirates, do they literally have to, like, you know, does the guy have to have a fucking hook for a hand and a fucking peg leg? Like,
laser hook.
You know, I mean, come on.
It's pretty good. I did enjoy the dude being like, I want a drink. It's like, it's a fucking elementary school, dude. He's like, I don't care. I want a drink. It's like, all right. Well, here's a fucking box of apple juice then, bro. Like, what do you want me to... You know, you can do some coloring while you're here. Like, what the fuck, man?
Here, I have a coloring book and a Capri Sun.
Fuck off. That was great, man.
And if you're good, if you finish your coloring book, you can have a cookie.
Yeah, I'll give you a fucking sticker, dude. So yeah, I was randomly like looking for something to watch with Ethan, and I was like, "Oh, dude, Mando's back on. We should watch that." He's like, "Nah, I want to watch fucking, you know, Encanto." I was like, "All right, fine." Because he and I have actually watched the first 2 seasons, which is totally inappropriate, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
3 years old is totally fine for Mando season 1, and 4 years old is totally fine for Mando season 2. I mean, come on.
I mean, the first movie I remember seeing was, you know, A New Hope, and I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So. He loves it.
And look at me, I'm terrific.
Fucking firing on all cylinders, man. Yeah, I'm the same. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I guess I just maybe it's the growing out of it thing or something. But I don't want to grow out of Star Wars. It's such a warm place in my heart for it. But I'm just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where maybe a lot of it had to do with just not getting a lot of it, you know,
maybe
thinking about it, you know, when it's not there, and, you know, sentiment and nostalgia and such. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's
a sprinkling of it, probably.
I don't know that they've really hit their stride with it.
No.
I think Disney might have a couple too many irons and a couple too many fires, and
right,
you know,
I mean, even the MCU's kind of fallen off.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They've got all this shit going. You know, like how are you running the MCU and Star Wars all at the same time? Like,
yeah,
like your best people have to be fucking just burnt out.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, like, kudos to the MCU for doing a 30 movie run that culminated in the 2 Avengers movies. Like, that, despite what, you know, the rewatchability, it's a pretty fucking impressive feat of cinema. Like, but I don't see how it's possible to do another 30 movie run into another giant fucking thing. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit.
It is not off to a good start.
No.
It is not at all off to a good start. I was really disappointed in Wakanda Forever. Like, I had heard fairly good things about it. But as far as a send-off for Chad Boseman, like, it was, like, nasty. It was, like, a mean, nasty movie. Like,
really?
You know, like
the tone of it, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, essentially, like, France tries to break in and steal vibranium or whatever, you know.
I saw the first,
Wakanda.
like, 10 minutes, yeah.
And this, like, prompts Wakanda to be like, fuck you, Wakanda first, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, you know?
Make Wakanda great again.
And then, like, they end up tangling with, like, the, you know, whatever. They totally changed the like, lore for Submariner and, you know, where he's from, etc. So it's not Atlantis now. It's, they're like...
Inca or something?
This is fine. They're like, ancient Mayans or whatever.
Yeah,
that,
that's fine.
Which is totally fine. But they're fucking awful too. And like, they're fighting each other. And like, it's just like,
yeah, right.
I don't know. It was just like, I just thought it was like nasty.
Yeah, okay.
It's just mean and nasty. It was like watching like two, like, authoritarian fucking, us first sort of states go to war. Because Wakanda basically refused to go to war with the rest of the world with the Atlanteans or whatever, like I don't know. I just did not dig it, like the reread of Namor was like, okay, but they even went as far as to be like, he got his name Namor because it means no love, Namor.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like
it's like Solo getting his name with the fucking at the desk. Like what?
A step too far and completely unnecessary. Like it just, I don't know. It was just weird.
Okay. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I'm totally vibing on the meh fest because like I felt the same way about the Doctor Strange movie. Like it was just like I don't really. Yeah, okay, whatever. Like, there was some, like, funny moments in it, and, like, zombie Doctor Strange was kind of cool, but it's, like, 2 minutes, It's like a skit. I just don't give a fuck. I'm curious about Quantumania.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's decent. I mean, I've been a fan of, a big Paul Rudd fan. And,
huge, yeah.
The movies thus far have been good, so.
Yeah.
They've been funny, lighthearted, I don't know, it's like they tried to go really dark for Wakanda.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think it worked. It just seemed like, like too just bloody and like, I don't know, there's just like so much anger in the movie,
Sure. Well, it was like Civil War. What was it? Was it Avengers or Captain America? Captain America Civil War was like dark, and then Infinity War was dark, but that's like after, 25 origin stories and like 12 origin stories and 12 sequels to those origin stories. Like there's plenty of other stuff going on. So I feel like the time was right for some kind of more heavy or serious shit. But like, yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like the opening of Wakanda Forever, like, dude, when they had the Marvel logo and all the Chadwick Boseman shit, like I got fucking choked up, to be honest, dude. I was just like,
oh, totally, man. Yeah.
And then like, the opening few minutes or whatever, where it's like, they lose him and they obviously need to write him out, which I get it. But, like, the emotion behind it was really real. Like, you could tell the actors were, didn't have to reach too deep to fucking find some pain there for obvious reasons. And, like the little funeral scene and stuff, it was like, okay, cool. I'm glad they're paying some respects. And then, yeah, it's a shame that they went such a dark tone with it because it's like an opportunity to kind of, I don't know, celebrate maybe as opposed to something else.
Yeah. I was expecting something a little more feel good there maybe. And it just, it just turned out to be
kind of cynical.
I don't know if like dark is the word for it, but just
it kind of makes sense. Like we're just coming out of 3 years of shit, after a bunch of geopolitical years of shit. Like, and now there's like a fucking global land war. Like people are in a pretty dark headspace, which is like kind of why it would be nice to have something that kind of lifted you out of it rather than
that's what I'm
buried
saying.
you in it. But I suppose it kind of shouldn't surprise that people are writing about dark stuff these days. But yeah, I need to be lifted out of it, It's like a GOG too, where, Yondu dies and it's like a really incredible send-off. Obviously it's fictional as opposed to the actual actor, but like it's still like couched in, the GOG humor and couched in kind of the family feel of the crew and stuff. So like it feels like that's kind of a more appropriate vibe, I suppose. I hate the use of the word vibe these days, but if you'll forgive it, I'll use it.
All right, I'll forgive it.
The fucking new cool kid term.
It's very different. It's a very different thing. This is just like, I don't know. It was like they really twisted the whole like Atlanteans Namor thing just to create like a sort of foil. And like literally like the whole thing is like Namor goes to Wakanda and he's like, you need to link up with us and we're going to go to war with the rest of the world and take them down.
Cool.
And they're like, no. And he's like, all right, well then I'm going to take you down.
Okay.
So, it's just like everybody's out to get everybody, like it's just this
sure,
like really kind of a nasty story, like
Well, and meanwhile, in the
I don't
first
know.
10 minutes, the regular peeps are trying to steal tech from Wakanda and stuff, like the United Nations or whatever. So it's like all actors are bad actors here. You know, everyone's being an asshole.
Right. Everybody's being an asshole. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to check it out, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch it until like, it had already been like on Disney for a month or something. And like, kept thinking like, oh yeah, I got to watch that. Oh yeah, I got to watch that. I finally just did like 2 weeks ago.
Because I feel like Loki, for me, is one of the highlights of the post-Infinity War Endgame MCU. Like, I enjoyed Loki a lot.
Absolutely.
I don't really know what else has come along that's been even close to as good as something like that in the MCU. I don't even know what else has been out around that time, but
The shows, definitely Loki. I don't know. Like I started off liking WandaVision, and then it kind of like that also went really dark.
yeah.
Speaking of the last Doctor Strange movie, I couldn't get into Moon Knight.
No, I watched the first couple and then went back. I was just like, oh, I don't want to wait week to week. I'll go back and binge it. I enjoyed the first couple that I saw, though.
It's one of those ones where I have to go back and watch it again because I started watching it and then I fell off because of something else and tried to go back to it and I could not figure out. I was like, why the fuck are they in like, I couldn't figure out how they got from point A to point B.
Right.
And thus just sort of gave up on it. But I need to like really go back and watch it again. But I have to go back and watch it again when watching the first 3 episodes is going to feel fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll take a while.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't really keeping my attention. I found myself like, just, I don't know, not dozing off, but just looking at my phone or something while I was watching it, you know?
I didn't watch Falcon or Captain America Winter Soldier or not, sorry. Whatever, Falcon
and the Winter Soldier?
Whatever the fuck it's called. Is he the new Captain America now, like, officially? Like, are they going to make a bunch of movies with Falcon as Captain America? Or is that just, like, kind of a... Like, there's a Captain America coming up, like, a movie they're making now. Is it... what's his name?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah, Captain America now. I mean, there's, like, U.S. agent or whatever, Kurt Russell's kid plays, like, the sort of other Captain America type dude.
Wyatt Russell?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen... I didn't watch Falcon Winter Soldier. Is he only in that, or is he in other stuff too in the MCU?
I think he just made his appearance in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Ooh, he had his film debut as a baby at the golf course in Overboard in 1987. Great movie.
Ooh.
There's a nugget. There's a
Overboard.
Wyatt Russell nugget. I love that movie.
Fucking love that movie.
Anthony Mackie. Yeah, I'm totally down with Anthony Mackie as Cap. I don't know. I just like, more generally speaking, outside of Anthony Mackie, I don't know how I feel about kind of like rebooting the superheroes with new people. But I mean, it's been done for fucking decades in comics, so it's bound to happen in the movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think you probably would have been better off just leaving Cap for a while, but whatever. I got nothing against Mackie. I like Mackie.
There's lots of other places for them to go, though. You know, I mean, they don't have to like reform the Avengers and keep going with the Avengers arc. You know, there's like they
do
are
the whole fucking X-Men thing, man. Like, they could just step into that for a while.
X-Men, Fantastic Four. You know, like fuck, even like the West Coast Avengers. You know?
Sure.
There's lots of stuff they could go with. I don't know why they would try to like reform the Avengers with like whoever,
Shang-Chi and all that. Is Shang-Chi going to be part of the Avengers?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably, if they're making a huge hubbub about the movie.
Maybe.
Like, Love and Thunder we covered, it was like, it was entertaining, but like, it didn't fucking blow my socks off. And then Spider-Man, I really enjoyed the nostalgia romp, but I don't know where else you go with that. So it kind of really just feel like all of the movies, all of the original MCU Infinity War run kind of just could be put to bed, and just do a bunch of other stuff. Like, I'm totally down with GOG3, no doubt about it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm reasonably optimistic about Paul Rudd as Ant-Man and Quantumania, but Like the rest of the movies, like I just don't mind. Doctor Strange was kind of meh, and like Black Widow movie was whatever, and she's dead anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. And the Hawkeye stuff, like I watched a bit of like half of that show or whatever, and it was like, okay, it's the same old shit, which is fine. Like I got nothing against it, but
I ended up actually really liking the Hawkeye thing.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't finish it, so I can't really speak to it. But
it's sort of like tied into like a Christmas sort of thing,
which I'm
so,
down. Yeah,
like
I'm down with that for sure.
I like started watching it and then I fell off, and then like I ended up finishing it over Christmas break that year when I was home. So
and it worked.
Yeah, it did what it should do. I don't know that it's going to come back, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't see the point of like basically rebooting the Avengers with like slightly different versions of all the characters, Like,
yeah. It looks like they've got an Avengers movie announced now.
Female Hawkeye,
yeah,
and like
exactly.
She-Hulk, or like whatever they think they're going to do. Like it just Ironheart maybe instead of Iron Man. Like I don't know. Like it just seems.
Is Ironheart
the
Pepper Potts version, or is that different?
No, Ironheart was actually in Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah. It's just someone in a fucking suit, or who is it?
Ironheart is... I'm not super up on Ironheart.
That's all right. I would make fun of you if you were, to be honest. It's not something you should know.
Right. Okay, so Ironheart is Riri Williams, and she's like a super, she's like another Tony Stark, sort of, She's like a wicked, gifted MIT student who makes her own sort of suit of armor.
Okay. And she's in Wakanda Forever for a minute?
To keep it brief. But yeah, she's sort of one of the big players in Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
So I don't know if that means she's going to end up sort of taking on the Iron Man role, like she's her own thing.
It seems like a really risky maneuver to like recreate the exact same characters, have a different Iron Man, a different Hawkeye, a different Cap, as opposed to just having other superheroes. Like that seems like a way less risky thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know why they would go for like, slightly different variations of the same the same characters,
Yeah. I mean, who knows? They might do well, but I could definitely see audiences being curmudgeons about it, but then again, who knows? General public can be pretty chill about stuff too. They just want to see explosions and boobies, Well,
I mean, if you think about it from the point of I like Anthony Mackie a lot.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't have anything to do with the actor that played Ironheart was great, and whatever. Any of these people are good. I just don't know if I want to see it done over again slightly differently.
Yeah, exactly.
It has much less to do with the actual people that are playing the characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, it has nothing to do with gender swapping or anything like that. It's just about I just don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I just want to see something different now.
Yeah. I mean, there was that interesting interview with Mackie, which I'm sure you've seen, where he was like, Anthony Mackie isn't a movie star anymore. The Falcon is the movie star, where it's like the character has become the star as opposed to the actor, which might be proven right here. I mean, it might be that ends up being the case, but
yeah.
It's a new space in movies if that's the case. Like I get why the studios would push that because it's like a money machine, but I don't know. Like I can't imagine anyone other than Helmsworth playing Thor, for example, but it's bound to happen soon. Obviously, excluding the Natalie Portman kind of joke.
Yeah,
stuff.
How many more is he going to want to do before he
I don't know,
falls into the Hugh Jackman territory of just being no, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it's very easy for me to say on the outside, but I feel like it's the kind of thing where you're sick of it when you're in it, maybe 5 movies in, but once it's done, you might be like, fuck, I wish I didn't pull the pin, I can imagine a world where Chris Evans is stoked to not be Cap anymore, but the star has faded a little bit, and maybe he's like, I kind of wish I could do that again. That was a big deal, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just using Chris Evans as an example. I have no idea how he feels, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Once you step away from the big role, maybe you regret it or something.
This is true. Well, Hugh Jackman was probably the worst example to bring in because
he's coming back.
Because he's coming back. So,
but maybe that's the exception that proves the rule. He just he takes a break for a while, but then wants to come back. Because Logan was fucking solid. That was pretty good.
Logan was great. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I think it's just because it's for Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know? And because he and Ryan Reynolds are such like
Bros.
romantic bros. Yeah.
But it'd be fun, it'd be a lot of fun to get back into the old suit and do your thing. You'd have to imagine,
Yeah.
And the paycheck would be nice, I'm sure.
I mean, make a boatload of money, get paid to like, train and be in shape, like get healthy, hang out with your buddies.
Yeah. You're going to pay me $15 million to hang out with my friends? Okay. Like, that sounds like fun.
It's all the things, man.
We shall see. As we've covered a million times, my enthusiasm isn't there, but I still watch them, and it's not even begrudgingly. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll just watch it now. And you watch it like, yeah, okay, whatever. Whereas back in the day, I was like, fucking new movies out, like lining up and fucking sleeping in a tent in front of a movie theater. You know what I mean?
Yes. No.
Never literally did that, but it's not where I'm at anymore.
I never did. I used to be a lot more excited about it. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Guardians, though.
Definitely looking forward to Guardians.
I'm very afraid.
Yeah, I mean the Christmas special was pretty solid. So like if they just kind of keep a reasonable vibe on it, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose some of them though. So
yeah, that's true.
I hope it's not like too serious.
Yeah, in your Wakanda Forever vibe, like MCU is now like becoming fucking super intellectual or something.
Yeah, or just creating like tragic stories instead of instead of fun ones.
Yeah. How did we get on that in the first place?
I don't know.
Oh, we started with Mando. I'm rereading the Red Rising books, and I completely know that they're just like, I don't know, they're just like they're just trashy.
What
trashy
are you
books.
doing to yourself?
I know, but I was just like, fuck it. I like the first one. It's like kind of an Ender's Game, Hunger Games-y kind of book, and
yeah,
like I've enjoyed rereading them, even though they're like the most fucking formulaic thing ever. But I feel like they could turn that into a series, but they probably fucking blow it.
It'll end up being like the new Hunger Games, you know,
which made a few bucks, so probably go to shit.
It's totally that YA kind of vibe.
No, definitely.
Vibe. I just used vibe.
You did use vibe.
Damn it.
Vibe death.
Yeah, I still haven't read like whatever the newer one is, and I don't know if I'm going to. I got so fed up with that shit.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I got fed up with the
pretty silly.
He's got it all going. He's on top. He's on top. Oh shit! Nope. He's right back down at the bottom.
He's lost everything. But wait till he climbs his way back up to even greater.
He's gonna climb his way back up again. Oh, he's back down again.
Well, don't worry. The same thing happens in the most recent book.
I'm sure, so I don't need to keep reading the same story literally over and over again.
You reading anything good recently?
I'm reading Adrian Tchaikovsky.
Oh yeah.
Not God damn it, I'm totally drawing a blank on the names of the books. He did the one with like the Planet of Spiders kind of thing.
I just listened to him on podcasts. Yeah, that sounds so fascinating. The new one's about like crows or birds, right?
Well, I don't know. The new one, I don't know if it's come out yet or if it's about to come out or what, but there was one in between where it was octopus.
Yeah.
So there's like a virus that makes a species intelligent, essentially, like that this woman made. So like the first planet, it's spiders. The next one is octopus, and I guess this one's going to be crows. Okay, whatever, sure.
Yeah, it's like it's birds. Yeah.
So I started reading those, but like the newest one hadn't come out yet, so I started reading one of his other series.
Yeah, nice. One of the other ones, like the spider or the octopus ones, or you had read those two already.
I've read both of those. I'm waiting. I was waiting for the other one, and so I started reading a totally different series from him.
How are the other ones? The spider one and the octopus one. It sounds fascinating. It sounds like a really interesting exploration of really crazy out there kind of.
They're really good. They're really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I heard him on the Ezra Klein show recently. It was a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's the Shards of Earth series that I'm reading now. It's kind of more of a traditional space opera kind of thing.
Yeah, any good?
It's all right. Yeah, it's not blowing my socks off, but
Yeah, reasonable.
it's reasonably good. It's entertaining. Some good characters, good storytelling, good, stakes, as it were.
Did you ever read that Sun Eater one?
Sun Eater, that's ringing a bell, but I have no idea.
Christopher Ruocchio, maybe? I don't know where. I just you see Reddit threads that are like, fucking, this is my favorite book, and this is my favorite book. What should I read? And people are like, blah, blah, blah. I think I grabbed it, and it's like, I don't know, did you read the 3 Body Problem books? Because, I read the first one, and it was alright, but I guess it gets better and better, and it's, one of the best trilogies fucking ever or whatever. But I've just never been able to get into it.
I started reading the first one, and I could not get into it.
Yeah, same.
I know it gets good. I'm familiar with the stuff that goes on in the stories, but just where he started, I just couldn't. I was just like, okay, when are we going to flash forward to something that's actually interesting? And I was like, no, I feel like I'm just going to keep reading this entire book, and it's going to be in this time period with these people, and that's going to be it.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I read the first one and was just like, oh my God. And then just stepped away and went and read fucking something else. Read Dune or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, I mean, if you've already made it through the first one, then I feel like you've got through.
I should probably jump on to
the toughest part, and you should just continue on. I started reading it and could not get into it. So I put it aside, and I haven't gone back to it, but I know it's supposed to be great. I just,
because Sun Eater is similar, where it's super space opera-esque, very kind of Dune-esque. It's kind of like Dune-ish and Red Rising-ish and whatever. And I found it was similar to Red Rising, where it's just kind of somewhat formulaic, And I read the first book, and it's 6 billion fucking pages long. And then I read the second book, and it's 7 billion pages long, and it's the same fucking story again. And I was like, I can't do this anymore, And people are just like, it's the fucking greatest thing ever. And they're 5 books into it, I don't know. I have such a hard time believing the hype, It's I read 2 of the 10,000 pages, and I kind of don't give a shit. So I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Same.
I'll pass on that.
I just would love to find some good shit, and it's hard to find. It's hard to find, good material. I have found that it's not that there's no good books out there. It's just that they just don't connect with me like some of the classics do.
Yeah. Did you read the last?
I want an Ilium and Olympus. I want a Quantum Thief. I want something in that.
Yeah, man, that dude fell off the fucking face of the planet.
Quantum Thief, dude.
I haven't looked for him in a while. Yeah, Hannu Rajaniemi. I haven't looked for him in a while, but nothing has popped up in my,
Yeah.
It's I think he's working at a fusion company now or something. I don't know. I don't remember what he's doing, but something like that, because he is actually a physicist. But be a shame if he just stopped writing altogether.
No doubt. That was one of the best things I read in a long time in terms of newer sci-fi that was solid.
Oh, it's the best.
So good, yeah. I want to go back and do it again.
Did you read, what is it, Inhibitor Phase? The last...
I did, yeah. The newer Reynolds. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was nice to be in the universe again, but the more I reread, Revelation Space, the Revelation Space universe was far and away my favorite sci-fi space opera universe for a long time. But the more I reread it, the less enamored I am with it, which is probably just I'm in a different space, I guess. I still really enjoy it, but
yeah,
I dug it. I mean, it was interesting. Honestly, can't really remember it at this stage. I read it 4 or 5 months ago or 6 months ago.
It's kind of the final act, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good. It didn't knock my socks off.
I like the Prefect Dreyfusy stuff. I'd like to kind of not necessarily Prefect Dreyfus, but I'd love to see some more stuff in the Glitter Band time frame instead of the Rust Belt time frame. But yeah, I agree. It didn't knock my socks off, but I definitely enjoyed it.
There is a new Prefect Dreyfus book coming out.
I've heard. Yeah, I heard him. I think he said I'm writing this Dreyfus book and then I'm stepping away for maybe forever. It's okay. I think he said it was his last Revelation Space book for a while, because he's got another book about a fucking whaling ship that not a whaling ship, a ship. It takes place on a ship, a pirate style ship.
I read it.
Yeah, is it any
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
I read like maybe about a third of it.
I liked it, but like I figured it out pretty fast.
Yeah, okay.
Like the twist, as it were.
Because I really liked like Cloud Atlas, for example, which I feel like had a somewhat similar vibe.
Yeah, it's. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, don't spoil
on the
it,
surface. That's definitely the case.
Is it worth a read, or is it not really worth a read?
I thought it was worth it.
Yeah, cool. I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Aversion.
That's the one. That's the one where he's on the whaling ship.
Man, Ethan's been getting into Nintendo recently. Like, we've been playing a little bit of like Mario Kart and Super Mario Odyssey and stuff. It's just so interesting to see him get into it, because like he's 5 now, so he's like the same age I was when I got like the NES or like played some Atari. It's just like really interesting to see, like, 1, how much he fucking sucks at it, and 2, like how much he enjoys it. It's just really kind of wild. It's like, it feels like a time machine watching myself.
Yeah, it must be wild.
It's really weird. He's like all about like being a fucking DJ in the car, where he's just like, oh, put on this song or that song on like Spotify. So we just listen to this really annoying, kid music all the time. But he's like, I want to listen to Mario music. And we found like these like doof electronic remixes of like Super Mario World SNES. And it's not like 8-bit, like it's actually like reasonably well produced. And he's like so into it. Dude.
Right.
He's like, play the Star Song, Dad. Like, all right, buddy. It's really funny, man.
Nice.
So we've been playing some Super Nintendo. We got a Super Nintendo emulator on the Switch, and we were playing it yesterday. He was so into it. He's like, "Oh, can we keep playing Nintendo?" I was like, "Nah, bro. We've been playing for like an hour. We need to put this thing down. Please, just a little bit more." It's like crack. It's really funny, man.
Yep.
You have time to play anything these days?
Yeah. I played most recently, let's see, Calypso Protocol, which was done by the guy who did Dead Space.
Oh yeah,
and that was all right. It was not as good as I had hoped it would be, but like it really got review bombed. I didn't think it was worth that much hatred. Like, I enjoyed myself. It's kind of a space, horror kind of a thing.
Sure. Are you into those kind of survival games generally as a genre?
It's not really. It depends, really. If it's space involved, yeah, totally.
Sure.
For instance, I'm replaying Alien Isolation right now, and that's really more of a space survival game. There's no hope with weapons or anything like that. You have stuff. Like, if you encounter another person who's hostile, you can shoot them, but like, the alien is just really smart in that game. It's like crazy AI. It will like wait. It'll like go into a room where you're in, and it'll leave the room, and it'll wait until you like come out of your hiding spot, and then it'll come back into the room and kill you.
Yeah, right.
It like totally fucks with you. But there's no like, there's no killing the alien. You can't.
So like, how do you beat the game, so to speak? Is it just like you survive long enough to get off the ship or something?
Yeah, essentially it's like, you have a series of tasks that you have to achieve while the alien is running around, and you spend a lot of time hiding under desks and shit waiting for the fucking thing to go away.
It doesn't sound like a good game, but I could totally see how it would be fun.
It's you're on edge the entire time.
Yeah.
It's insane. Because like, you're like, you don't hide under, you're like, all right, I have to go. I have to like keep going. And so you're just like keeping your fingers crossed that like it's not going to see you, or that like you're going to be able to find a place to hide in time, or it just keeps you on your toes like that.
That's kind of clever. Like, I wouldn't. I could. On paper, if you're like, yeah, we're gonna play this game where you have to hide under a desk, you're like, that sounds boring, man. But I could totally see how you get it, like adrenaline rushy, edge of your seat about it. So that's interesting.
It's not for everyone, man, but I started playing it again, and I just had to I just stopped. Like, I just put the controller down. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like,
this is too much. You gotta take some fucking Zoloft.
It was making me so fucking anxious and like on edge. I was like, I don't know if I could do this. And then like I gave it a shot again, and I was like, all right, I can do it.
I love it. It's like the Wakanda Forever, man. It's a super dark headspace full of anxiety.
Yeah. Callisto Protocol is more like, you can fight and stuff, so it's not necessarily like it's more like there's a lot of jump scares and creepy, gory shit and stuff, but it was more gory than it was creepy. Dead Space was like genuinely kind of scary.
Yeah, I've never played any of those, including Dead Space.
Yeah, Dead Space was great. And they just came out with a remake of that, but I'm not so into like, Remakes of the same exact fucking game.
Yeah.
For
Updating
$60
graphics or whatever. When did Dead Space come out? 2000.
Dead Space, early 2000. No, mid. I don't know, like 2010, something like that. I want to say.
Yeah, that was
it's
right.
Just
when
the
I
original
kinda
game is
stopped
just
gaming.
old enough that it's. What's that?
That was like right when I stopped gaming, which is crazy. It's been that long because like I just like went hiking, so I didn't have a fucking Xbox in my tent, and then went and lived in Haiti, so I didn't have an Xbox in my tent. So it just kind of like fell off then. It's like I missed multiple generations of games since then, you know?
Yeah.
I did pick up a Switch and played like the Zelda and Mario and shit like that just because I've always been a fan of Nintendo. But yeah, the last proper game I played was Mass Effect 2, which was a long fucking time ago.
That was a long time ago.
That was when that came out, like when that was fresh. I was because I was a huge Mass Effect 1 fan. And then played 2 and then played Portal 2 at somebody's house like over the course of a weekend, and then that was it.
Good job. Those games were fun.
They were fun, man. Portal was fucking amazing.
Great. I
Such a
love
idea.
Like Gladys as a character is still one of my favorite video game characters. Like just the constant like ribbing and like
no doubt.
Being a poor sport, and you know, like when you beat the game, like she sings a song to you. Like I love it.
Yeah, dude, no doubt, no doubt.
For it.
So good. Yeah, all the not Mass Effect. What was the Half-Life shit? Like Half-Life 2 back in the day. Obviously, it's old as fuck. Like that was just such a fucking good game, man. That blew me away back in the day.
Yep.
It was definitely
a good game.
Something about the kind of cinematic nature of it, where you start on the train and you're kind of in the city and you're like, okay, you're used to like the first person shootery Halo-y games and stuff, where you're in corridor after corridor, and then it just like bursts open into an entire world where you're like in fucking boats and cars, and yeah, it was just really quite a fucking game. Now everything's kind of open world, or much more so, it seems.
Yeah, and that can be good, but it can also be boring.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Morrowind or Elder Scrolls shit. It's just too open for me. I can't sink my teeth into those games. It's nothing against them. It's just not my vibe. I almost said vibe again. Oh my God. It's not my flavor.
They're great, man. But for instance, I'm just going to use this as an example. I played Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Odyssey. That's like the one that takes place in like ancient Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's great. Like it's, great fun combat and, great stories and like just so many places to explore on the map. And just so many different things to do and ways to get around. Like, you have a horse and then like you have like a boat with like, a crew that you can like upgrade, and like, it's like crazy the amount of different things you can do. But like I ran out of steam before I finished it.
Yeah.
Like I tried to be such a completionist that I got sick of playing the game before I actually got to the end of the story.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's sort of my problem with like the I guess it's a good problem to have for there to be too much content in a game. But
yeah, but it needs to be balanced. Like the story needs to keep you hooked, because like Morrowind was the same back in the day. I had it on Xbox, and like I'd never played an Elder Scrolls game at that stage, and was super into how open it was. Like you could just like I spent like fucking weeks like sneaking around houses stealing fucking plates and shit, like just like an idiot. And by the time like it was like time to play the game, like I'd like leveled up and I had like all this crazy rare armor and fucking poisonous fucking rings and shit. I was practically invincible, and I literally hadn't played any of the story,
Yeah.
And then like went to start the story and it was like, you're the Dragonborn, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is boring. I don't give a fuck. And then like I had so much magical gear that the Xbox would crash every 10 minutes. I was just like, all right, fine. I'll give it up. It would just crash so hard. Like it got to the point where I had saved myself into a corner where I couldn't even load the save because it was so fucking crashy. And it's like, all right, whatever. I'm done. So like I feel like, I don't know, like open world's cool, but like the story needs to not be like it's like when the main story feels like a side quest because it's just like a bunch of dialogue trees with people. The side quests are like, save my cat stuck in the tree. Oh no, I'll give you 2 gold. And then the main story is like, save my daughter who's in the dungeon. I'll give you 10 gold. It's like this is the same thing. You know, it just gets kind of boring.
Bunch of fetch quests.
Yeah, exactly.
Not so interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. I suppose like a Halo on rails level is, I just enjoy that kind of thing more because at least it's like telling a story instead of it just being like dialogue trees and shit. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind an open world, but I tend to like concise games that I can get through in about 40 hours, and then I'm like, okay, sweet, that was fun.
Like 40 is a solid chunk of time, man. Like,
yeah, or like, you know, if I'll play through a game, and if they eventually do like a new game plus mode or whatever, I'll do that because it's just fun to like go in with all your shit instead of like spending the game grinding to get the shit, you know?
Yeah, totally. So like an expansion pack kind of thing, or what do you mean?
No, just a lot of games will like, for instance, I just played through Callisto Protocol again because the new Game Plus mode dropped. It's just like once you've completed the game once, you can start a new game with your old save.
Oh, okay.
So you have all the like equipment and upgrades and
like so you start back at the beginning with harder enemies, but you've got all your shit.
You got all your shit. Exactly.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
And then that's it. I'm usually done. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, the same thing happened to me with Witcher 3. Like, awesome game, you know, great story, great stuff. But like, I got through the entire campaign. I wasn't like a super completionist about it, but I got through like the main storyline. And then there was like a almost equally big expansion pack. And I started playing it, and I got into the first, like, that game had these like dialogues that were just epic. Like, you'd be talking to the same person for like, I swear to God, it felt like a half an hour, you know? You're just like, can we just finish? I just want to go do something. Like, please. Like, I know it wasn't that long. That's hyperbole.
But it's still pretty long.
It would feel like that sometimes, you know? So it's like the game started off and I got into one of those conversations and I was just like, nope. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'll have to come back to it later.
No doubt. Yeah, sometimes it's just like, fuck, I just want to play a game. I don't want to watch a game. Speaking of Witcher, man, what do you think about Cavill not returning? That's a bit of a shame.
You know, there's so much crap around that. I don't think any of it is really true. I just, as far as I understand it, he just has an issue like creative differences.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. Has there been a whole bunch of others stink about it or something?
Yeah, and there's been all kinds of crazy claims, like he was abusive on the set and shit like that. Off. But I'm pretty sure they've figured out that all those claims are bogus. It's just really doesn't want to be involved with it anymore because he doesn't like the way the story is going.
That's what I had heard. I don't keep up on all the articles and shit, so yeah, I had just heard that he was bummed with the direction of it, so I decided to step away, which is totally reasonable. It's a shame, but totally understandable.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a bummer because he was great. I don't know that I'm going to continue watching it if he's not going to be on it.
Liam Hemsworth is going to do it, huh?
I guess.
Which I didn't know, but yeah, right on. Yeah, I'll check it out, I guess. But I was already kind of not really fired up about it. Like what was it, the second season? It's only been 2, right? Yeah. Like I enjoyed the second season, but it didn't have the same magic that the first season had. Yeah.
I liked the episode with the boar dude for sure.
That was sick. If I remember correctly, when we did the show, you were saying that the books are worth checking out, and it's like a whole broader thing, right?
I've never read the books.
Oh, somebody said that.
I know. I think what I might have said was apparently that story came from a book of short stories.
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah.
That wasn't like connected to the main story. Like they were just sort of one-off random short stories. But I haven't read it. I just read about it.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of funny, to be fair, because like I saw this dude who's a Warhammer dude talking about how, I guess, Cavill's going to try and get it brought to the big screen, whether TV or movies, I don't know. And this dude was like a huge Warhammer fan, and he was just like crying. He was just like, I'm so happy. I was like, good for you, bro. Like, I'm glad the thing you love is coming to fruition. But he was like so emotional about it. It was kind of like adorable and funny. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with that. You know, like I would love to see any property as big as Warhammer, you know, get a shot. It just seems silly not to give it a shot at this stage. You know, I've never really read much about it, but who knows?
Just, you know, I don't know everything there is to know about it, but just everything I do know about it, it just seems like just take the word space and put it in front of any fantasy creature, essentially.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. It just,
but I mean, it's also like fucking 30, 40 years old now. Like 30, 40 years ago, that was kind of the breadth of sitting around the writer's room table writing shit, It's like make a game out of something. We'll just put space in front of it and make a game and sell it for $1 million. And they've done it right for themselves. But I mean, people are really into it. I mean, in terms of the story, it's like, fuck, man, I'm down to check it out.
Yeah, I give it a lot of grief, but to be fair, I don't know that much about it.
Yeah, same.
In the future, it will be dark. There will be fascism and eternal war.
And lots of giant shoulder pads. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the dark lever is a little overused these days.
Yeah, whatever.
So
not my bag.
What would you rate another 48 hours then? 48 hours. Very racist movie with buddy cops where only one of them is a cop.
I don't know. It's a 6.
I mean, I haven't even rated it yet, but we can pretty much assume it'll be in the 5 range, right?
My guess is it's going to be in the high 4s.
Yeah, you're probably right. Well, I mean, I'm glad we were able to shoot the shit about some random shit and gripe about the MCU. I feel like this is probably a good place to call it. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. Hope Kev feels better soon, and hopefully you got some enjoyment out of us talking about random shit. Hit us up on the grams or wherever, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about any of the stuff we talked about. And, recommendations and shit, too, movies and books and shit like that. We'd love to hear what you guys are up to, reading and watching and stuff. So hit us up. So, yeah, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you on another time, to quote Kev.
Ciao.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to join us, you can hit us up on social media at EBD Podcast. We're in pretty much everywhere there is to be, but most of the time we're on Instagram. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can find it at EBD Podcast /episodes/198. Hit us up on Patreon if you want to chuck us a bit of coin for your Witcher. We'd love some support there if you can. Otherwise, please tell a friend. I mean, it's really, really tough to grow these things, and we love making the show, and would just really appreciate how many of you have stuck with us for this long. So, really heartfelt, massive high fives all around for listening. And if you do dig the show, please share it with your friends. Your nerdy friends would like the show probably too, so let them know.
The more the merrier.
Really. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for joining us this week for our random show full of random shit, and join us next week for 48 Hours, our first in a series of buddy cop movies. Thanks, and we'll see you later.
One for Sealab, 2 for Ego, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady. Stop into it.